who started the season so brilliantly. And this is the home debut for Welsh international goalkeeper Andy Dibble, signed on loan from Manchester City to replace the injured Theo Snelders, and he kept a clean sheet in his first match for the club last week at Fir Park. These Hearts players are still smarting from the club's 3-2 home defeat by St Johnstone last week, and manager Joe Jordan has made one change in the side, Neil Berry replacing Gary Mackay in midfield. But that's still an attacking formation built on the international central defensive partnership of Craig Levein and Dave McPherson. And the main goal-scoring threat comes from John Robertson, who scored his second goal in his second match for Scotland in midweek, a pressured penalty kick, to add to the 7 he's scored already this season for Hearts. And the referee this afternoon, Mr. Jim Renton from Cowdenbeath. So a damp, dreich day in the Granite City as Aberdeen start the match, and a fleeting opportunity there for Hans Hielhuis to attack Henry Smith. Not quite warmed up to the task, perhaps. So Aberdeen with that goal famine to concern them, and Hearts coming here after a season last year when they failed to be beaten by Aberdeen in 4 league matches, but then came unstuck in the Skol Cup at Petorbia last month when they lost by 3-0. So a point to prove for Hearts. They're still languishing much further down the Premier League than they would like. Illister instead from Irvine. Here's Cahoon. Going in early. Brian Grant is there for Aberdeen. And a clumsy challenge from Neil Berry, introduced to the Hearts side to provide some steel in midfield. So a free kick to Aberdeen. There's Jim Bett and McLeish. Fresh from his 74th international appearance for Scotland. McKimmy's made a run on the right. Bett trying to pick him out. It's well judged by McKimmy. Here's Van de Ven. Looking for some help. Very confident play by the Dutchman. Irvine plays it forward. Hielhuis got a touch. Dave Kirkwood with that very calm pass back to Henry Smith. But Peter Van de Ven making a very good early impression. Eamon Bannon taking an advanced position on the Hearts left in the early stages of the match. There's Connor. Playing that away from McLaren. There's Levein. Turn one down. There's no free kick. Hielhuis uses Mason. Biding his time for the pass, and Van de Ven is caught offside. Well, disappointment there for the Dutchman. Well, this was very promising for Aberdeen. The way Hielhuis came inside, set up the pass for Mason. Now look how well Mason retains possession, waits for the angle to be right to release that pass, but Van de Ven had gone a shade too early. And then again getting the better of McKimmy for that high kick out from Smith. Robertson lashing the ball through the middle, and Levein got there just ahead of Hielhuis. Grant's header. Bett using David Robertson. Hielhuis is in behind McPherson. A chance for Aberdeen. Another opportunity, and it's played across the face of the goal, and Mason arrived too late. Hearts survive, and that was a golden chance for Hans Hielhuis. Still no let up here as Berry breaks for Hearts. Cahoon on the right. Inside it comes to Ferguson. Hearts have been stung into some kind of retaliation here. Connor going all the way back, getting help from David Robertson to keep the ball in play. Aberdeen playing football from defence. Hielhuis caught from the rear there by Levein. Well, Hans Hielhuis already showing his danger to the half defence. Just look at the pace here. This ball was played through from David Robertson. Hielhuis exploded in behind Dave McPherson, set himself to try to get the shot beyond Henry Smith. An excellent initial block and then the support was late in arriving for the ball played into the 6-yard box. Good finds Cahoon. A late challenge there by David Robertson. The referee allows play to continue because Ian Ferguson had possession. I think he may have a war with David Robertson when the ball is dead. Yes, it's worse than that. There's going to be a booking for Robertson. Well, it was very sensible refereeing initially by Jim Renton. I think McLeish is talking himself into trouble as well. So 2 Aberdeen players in trouble here. McLeish will be booked for dissent. David Robertson for the initial foul. Well, as the ball was played across by Kirkwood to Cahoon, he played it away first time. David Robertson came crunching in late, but the pass still reached Ian Ferguson. That's why the referee allowed the advantage rule to allow that move to develop. But then, whenever the ball went dead, he was going to have a one with David Robertson. So McLeish, in the first place, is booked for his outburst of dissent. And now the booking will be for David Robertson for the initial offence. Well, David Robertson has already been ordered off. He was sent off against St Johnstone at Perth 3 weeks ago. That 5-0 defeat. A yellow card for Robertson. He's a very tough character, Cahoon, and he'll hate to go off at this stage of the play. Well, he's going to give it a run, I think. Or is he going to be allowed to? No. Hearts manager Joe Jordan making a change. In fact, the initial change is John Robertson going off, clutching the back of his leg. He may have damaged a hamstring. Well, Foster has replaced Robertson up front for Hearts, and John Cahoon is limping very heavily indeed at this time. So Foster gets involved straight away. It's turned away by McLeish. Well kept in by Robertson. Well, the clearance wasn't to the Aberdeen defence's liking. Headed away by McPherson, and Cahoon clearly is still in substantial difficulty. McLeish for the header. Well, all that activity could have an unsettling effect on both sides. David Robertson booked for the foul, McLeish booked for dissent, and well, that tells the story. The strapping they're indicating a strained or a pulled hamstring for John Robertson. Here's Foster playing the pass behind Bannon. Bannon is now well out of position. There's Van de Ven. Mason with a return pass. That's from McKimmie to use his pace. Playing it early this time. There's Hillhouse. The goal will not count. The flag is up. The referee going across to speak to the linesman. Well, a superb piece of play by Aberdeen. Referee talking to the linesman, who is Brian Mendel from Inverurie, and a free kick has been given. Well, the ejection among the Aberdeen players and supporters of what superb football that was. Van de Ven on the halfway line, playing it short to Mason, taking the return pass, releasing Stuart McKimmie for that run on the right. The early ball inside, beautifully controlled by Hillhouse, who was offside at that point. What a superb finish it was. Well, all to no avail as Hearts try to come forward. The stadium still buzzing with the disappointment of that Hillhouse goal. Would have been a marvellous way to end the goal famine for Aberdeen. Kimmy goes to retrieve the ball for Andy Dibble. Hillhouse underneath that with Levine, and there's going to be trouble for the international defender. It's a booking for Levine, and this will be for persistent fouling. Well, the ball hooked high in the air, a very awkward ball for all the players. Levine marking Hillhouse, a clumsy challenge from the rear. He'd been warned before, so I reckon that booking really was inevitable.
But Rangers were soon back on the attack. Defender Scott Nisbet almost deceiving Henry Smith in the Hearts' goal. Rangers didn't have to wait much longer for the second. A great move started by Walters, an impressive run by young Robertson, and what a finish from Terry Hurlock. And you hit that with your left foot, says captain Nigel Spackman. By now Rangers were in total control, and Johnston set Robertson off on another exciting one which produced an outstanding save from Smith. Rangers had the ball in the net a minute later, but Mark Haitley was judged to be offside. Hearts had a rare chance when a Gary Stevens error let Wayne Foster in, but he couldn't beat Woods. At the other end, the hard-working Haitley set up Walters, but he missed when scoring seemed easier. Then Haitley almost scored with an incredible heel flick. Substitute Ali McCoist trying to follow up. The third goal eventually came though, and it was Haitley who made it for McCoist. Ali's obviously been watching too much Italian football on the Sports Channel. With 5 minutes to go, Dave McPherson bundled Haitley to the ground, and referee David Syme gave a penalty. Henry Smith against Mark Walters. 4-0 Rangers the final score, and Walters off to the dancing. So Rangers stay top after that impressive performance against Hearts. Well, at the bottom, St Mirren have been struggling to get the results which would move them up the table. But they've
Dibble coming to claim that. He thought he was fouled by McLaren. Didn't end up making a good gathering catch with his right hand though. Fowler's long ball designed to release Van de Ven, but McKinley has enough pace. Header by McKimmie. There's Kirkwood. Foster putting pressure on Irvin. Tried to get that back to Bannon. McKimmie steps in. Here's Andy Dibble. Connor lets that run from McLaren's header to take the throw. It's Hillhouse. Couldn't get away from McPherson. Cohen playing it forward. He was caught late there by Connor. I saw no malice in that challenge, nor did the referee. Remember, Cohen took a very heavy knock at his right leg early in the match, in the incident in which David Robinson was booked. This is Connor. Being followed by McLaren. Kimmy to Van de Ven. That's for Mason. Grant. Aberdeen players looking for too much time on the ball inside the box. Here's Van de Ven. Now Connor. McKimmie. Here's Brian Grant. That's for McKimmie. He's onside this time. And played into the arms of Henry Smith by Alan McLaren. Well, if Stuart McKimmie didn't have the best match of his career against Switzerland in midweek, he's having a superb game this afternoon. That was fine play. The ball inside to Grant. He sprinted through to take the return pass. tried to play the ball beyond Henry Smith. McLaren was there with the clearance. After the chance down the break, only Ferguson and Foster up for the moment. Kirkwood steaming through the middle. There's Foster in space. Superbly saved by Dibble. Well, the first time he's been called into serious action. That was an excellent stop. And question marks here about the Aberdeen defence. That ball was played in the inside right channel, finding Foster all on his own with time to set up the shot. Hit it firmly enough, but Dibble was across quickly. Barron's corner, headed away by McKimmie. McLaren. Challenged by Grant. That was with Bannon. Losing it to McKimmie, who's going to cross with Bannon to the far side. Hillhouse stopped by Berry. There's Cahoon. Appear to be fouled there, and the free kick has been given. Robert Connor. Having a walk there with Hillhouse. It was Van de Ven who committed the foul. Van de Ven also having words with his countryman about the way in which he dwelt on the ball there. There's Foster down to Bannon. Foster again, supported well by Kirkwood. Beautifully angled ball, and McLeish was very sure of himself there. Knew exactly what was going on all around him. And that little dummy takes all the strain off the Aberdeen defence. Bet surging forward. Mason has gone to the left. Bet continue the run. That's a great pass from Mason. Bet hooking it across. Masterly play by Bet. A goal which is richly deserved on the balance of the first half play. It was a long time coming, but it took some superb play from Jim Bet. He started to move himself. Surging ball out of the midfield, played into Mason, went for the return, never checked his stride at all, kept going forward, looked up and flanked it out with his left foot beyond Henry Smith into the far corner. So it's back with Kirkwood. Now Cahoon. Can't get away from David Robertson. There's help from Kirkwood and from McLaren. Headed away by Irvin. There's Berry with a shooting chance. Well, that's just about as good a chance as Hearts have had in the first half. Neil Berry, better known for his defensive qualities. That ball came out to him high at the edge of the box. He had to control the volley, but wasn't able to do so. So that burst of activity towards half-time allows referee Jim Renton to send the teams inside. The scoreline reflecting play accurately. Hans Hillhouse scored a goal which was chopped off midway through the half, a goal which would have been a candidate for goal of the season after the magnificent build-up, but justice was seen to be done just on the half-time whistle when Jim Bet asserted himself with that tremendous run from midfield, linking play with Paul Mason, and the chip shot to leave Henry Smith helpless. At half-time, it's Aberdeen 1, Hearts 0. There's Paul Mason. An acrobatic effort, but well off target. Header by Irvin. This is Van de Ven. Hillhouse is in space inside the box. Well, the conditions were the problem there for Aberdeen. Hillhouse was well spotted there by Van de Ven. And had that been the first half, that may well have held up for Hillhouse. there. Here's Connor holding off McLaren. Connor to Mason. This is Hillhouse. Grant has gone through the middle. Well, that was the target all right for Hans Hillhouse. Brian Grant making the run. Fine, having difficulty judging the header. There's Irvin. Deception made there by McKimmie. Here's Dave Kirkwood. Well controlled by Irvin. Makes his little flick. Goes beyond Grant. Here's Neil Berry. And Cahun. Very little change out of David Robertson this afternoon. And no joy either on that occasion, turning the ball out for the throw. One fine save from Andy Dibble in that first half from Wayne Foster. Otherwise, he's had little to do. Push to Connor. The dummy didn't deceive McLaren. Good leap by Levine. And McLeish is penalised. Offering no complaint though, because he was booked for dissent in the first half. McKinley. There's Foster, trying to get away from Irvin. Good play from David Robertson. Well, Aberdeen looking very dangerously down to the speed there of Wayne Foster. Look at the way he gathered this. Got away from Irvin to pull the ball back across the face of the goal. And Robertson kept his head to turn it away for the corner. There's Bannon. Get away from them by Van de Ven. Here's Hillhouse in the break. Here's Mason up in support. Hillhouse may go all the way himself. He has enough pace to take on Berry if he chooses to. Now looking for support. The run made again by Mason. Mason's in the clear. The chance for Aberdeen. Back from Grant to Connor. And Hearts are back in numbers to face this. As Ian Ferguson picks it up. Long chase again for Foster. Well, the game under the hurrying up now as Foster now attacks Irvin again. Oh, that's well taken by Dibble. Stood up to that, took it comfortably and calmly, and he sent Aberdeen on their way once again. Here's Jim Bett. Cross it comes now to Connor. Laying it into the path of Robertson, who made a good run. Here's Hillhouse. Away from Levine, but not from McLaren, and that's a free kick against Hillhouse. Well, it was Hans Hillhouse who had that excellent opportunity a few moments ago as he broke from a corner kick from Hearts. He broke out of the box, came racing forward with Berry in hot pursuit, stood up, waited for movement ahead, got it from Mason, who shrugged off his marker. But look how well Henry Smith stands up to this, leaves no target at all for Paul Mason, and then makes the block. There's Connor. Transformation again. McPherson going across. Very good close control, Paul Mason. Breaks back now for Grant. That's for Hillhouse. On his right foot now. Forced in by Grant. And Aberdeen are 2 ahead. They may have made it without the help of Brian Grant. But the young midfield player was not prepared to leave that to chance. Well, Aberdeen again, worthy of another goal here as that ball came across to Hans Hillhouse. Look how well he chests it down to make an angle for himself. Once again, Henry Smith appeared to do well, half stopping the shot, but Brian Grant came surging in to make certain. minutes into the second half. Aberdeen 2 ahead. And on the balance of play, that's a lead which they cannot really be grudged. As Bet goes forward once again. Aberdeen looking for the kill now. Played into the path there of McKimmie. It's left there for Grant. Smith comes to claim that. Well, Brian Grant certainly full of energy and effort in the middle of the field, and that paid off for Aberdeen. So Hearts lost by 3-0 in the Skoll Cup in September to Aberdeen. Alex Smith there in the stand, much relieved, no doubt. Andy Walker sitting right ahead of him, the former secretary of the SFA, now the chairman of the Scottish Health and Education Group. Barron brought down by Connor. So a free kick to Hearts, and you have the impression that Hearts will have to get a goal back pretty swiftly if they're going to have the real prospect of saving anything from this match. There's Kirkwood. The fans standing firm again. McKimmie releasing Hillhouse. Bet is inside. Bet was trying to time that for Hillhouse in a way which would not leave the striker offside. He knows he got that just out of time. There's Grant. Connor. Grant again. Good play to pick up McKimmie right back. Van de Ven to Hillhouse. It's a brilliant turn by Hillhouse. Well, the referee appeared to allow the advantage there as Hillhouse was caught in the turn. Perhaps thought that Hillhouse would still be able to get to the ball, which he couldn't. McKinley's header. Irvin. Well, this is worrying, I've no doubt, for Joe Jordan on the Hearts bench. It's been a slow start to the season. They only had 6 points before the match this afternoon from 8 games, languishing in the bottom half of the league. And it looks as though this afternoon may not provide anything. Done back by Tosh McKinley. And playing it through for Foster. McLeish kept his eye on the ball, then got some help from Brian Irvin. Irvin stepping into that number 6 jersey occupied by Willie Miller for so many years for Aberdeen. And there is Willie Miller. Benefit dinner tonight with him, celebrating 20 years at Pittodrie. McKimmie playing that to safety for Irvin. Van de Ven brought down by Ian Ferguson. Well, you can see what Ferguson thought about it. He thought that Van de Ven took a dive. The referee, sadly for Ferguson, disagrees. And it's a yellow card for the Hearts striker. Well, Van de Ven going to collect the ball from Brian Irvin there, and Ferguson clearly came across him with a foul. So the yellow card for the Hearts striker, making it 2 bookings apiece in the match. There's McLaren. The flag is up on the near side, but offside against Ian Ferguson. And this time there's applause for Brian Vendel, the linesman from the Aberdeen supporters. Well, they gave these vital offside decisions against Aberdeen in the first half. Certainly no suggestion from this position that he got any of them wrong. He was in the perfect position, but One of the Aberdeen fans on the far side who may also have been almost in line were upset. Perhaps not quite so unbiased as the linesman. Levine turned it out to the corner. Hillhouse having a fine match, which would be capped only by a goal. McLeish looking for his first goal of the season. Led in by Connor, there's McLeish. It's headed away by Berry. Now Grant. Grant provides the decoy. Chance now for Hearts on the break. Here's Foster. Such a willing runner, Foster. There's McLaren on his outside. Well, the momentum of that Hearts attack has dropped. Turned away by David Robertson before the pass could reach Foster again. McLaren. Headed away by Van de Ven, marking Bannon. Bit of wrestling there between McKinley and Hillhouse. Here's McKinley. Now Ferguson. Trying a little chip shot, it was deflected, and that is a corner kick. The Aberdeen fans are upset about the fact that the wrestling match involving McKinley and Hillhouse did not result in a free kick to Aberdeen. The referee clearly taking the view it was 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Here's John Cahoon. Well taken by Dibble. A very commanding figure in the Aberdeen goal. Cahoon nodding it on. This is Foster. Cahoon once again. Trying to take on Connor. Good running this time by Cahoon. The tackle came from David Robertson. And the linesman tells the referee that Robertson didn't get a touch and that it should be a goal kick. David Robertson was the player making the sliding challenge. Showing a lot of strength there. Here's Robertson. Playing the ball up the line. The willing figure of Paul Mason gives chase with Dave McPherson. Playing the ball too long. Mason sets it up for Hillhouse. That's the goal that his outfield play has merited all afternoon. And Hillhouse for Aberdeen, just 17 minutes from the end. And this was undoubtedly something of a nightmare for Dave McPherson. There appeared to be very little danger as he followed the ball to the corner flag. He turned easily enough, then took much too long on the ball. Mason nipped in, set up for Hillhouse. Hillhouse stood up, looked at Henry Smith and picked his spots behind the keeper. So activity on the Aberdeen bench. Ian Jess and Craig Robertson waiting to get the call to come on. Irvin's clearance. Mason was offside, in fact, as that ball was played forward by Irvin, and the referee has reacted to the linesman signal. So substitutions to come now for Aberdeen. Ian Jess on the left, Craig Robertson on the right, replacing two of the goal scorers, Hans Hillhouse and Jim Bett, who have clearly been given a rest after the quality of their contribution to the Aberdeen performance this afternoon. Persson. Again, Irvin comes to meet the high ball. Van de Ven to Mason. Van de Ven couldn't get there ahead of McKinley, who was quick in the turn. Space now for McKimmie. And for Mason. Van de Ven's early cross. Connor coming in. There's Craig Robertson. Superb goalkeeping by Henry Smith. A point-blank save by Smith. He certainly doesn't deserve to be in the losing side this afternoon. It came to the cross from Peter van de Ven. The last defence was at sea. The ball broke down there to Craig Robertson, who thundered the ball in against the body of Henry Smith, and he couldn't pull it back to the byline to an Aberdeen colleague. But again, judging the high ball well, this is Bannon. John Cahoon. Good running by Cahoon. Well, that's just about the first time in the match he's got beyond David Robertson to get a cross in. It's a measure of the quality of the performance of Robertson. Mason got his head to the ball. So did McPherson though for Hearts. Here's Ian Jess. Now Grant, Connor's in the clear inside. Robertson's forward, still Connor. Now Craig Robertson, Van de Ven breaking on the right. There's Brian Grant. Good goalkeeping again by Henry Smith. Oh, well set up there for Brian Grant, who kept the shot down well, but Smith was on the 6-yard line to cut down the angle. Van de Ven inside, there's Craig Robertson. Powerful, skillful player, Peter Van de Ven. Connor playing it back, the header inside for Jess. Get Levine to beat. Did well to get the shot on target, Ian Jess. Such a promising youngster, just 19 years old. Bit of climbing there by David Robertson on the shoulders of Cahoon, giving the free kick to Hearts. Forcing the ball forward, but there's no Aberdeen player making the run into that area. Did a good match, Connor, especially in the second half. There's Foster attacking McLeish. And McLeish sticking to the task. Such a determined defender after all those years at the top. Corner kick it is to Hearts, in front of their own supporters at the beach end there. Their numbers depleted somewhat in the last 10 to 15 minutes, with some of the fans making their way to the exits early. Dibble missed out there, chances on this time, it's off the crossbar from Ian Ferguson. And still no consolation for Hearts. Well, Andy Dibble, with a very upset young man, I think, as that ball came across. He appeared to lose his bearings completely. Came to no harm the first time, then broke out to Ian Ferguson. His shot on the turn was deflected onto the crossbar. No luck at all for Hearts in front of the Aberdeen goal. Dibble calling for that. Irvin let it run. Dibble's well out of his goal, but Hearts couldn't get a shot at target quickly enough. And Irvin this time turns the ball behind. Well, first signs of any lack of understanding between Dibble and his defence popping up there in the closing stages. Cahoon's corner kick. It's won by McLeish. Van de Ven, a very accurate pass. Finding Jess. Forward comes Robertson. Chased by Kirkwood. Kept play there by McLaren, well, not quite. Connor playing it forward. Mason trying to control the ball. Aberdeen now sending players racing into the box for the cross. There's Brian Grant! And that would have been a second goal his amazing industry deserved. Oh, what a run he made. As Mason took that long pass and controlled it, Grant came racing from his midfield beat. He wasn't matched making a run. The cross was delivered to perfection. The diving header was wide of the target. Irvin's clearance, playing the ball to safety and giving Hearts a throw. So just a minute remaining in the match. It's been a very impressive overall performance this from Aberdeen. Here's Wayne Foster. Back it comes to Cahoon. Far post cross, Dibble goes to collect. Needs 2 attempts, but he was fouled by Bannon. So it's a free kick to Aberdeen. Well, Andy Dibble was coasting there throughout the match until the last few minutes when he had some work to do and has revealed there's still some practice required with his defence. Foster. Oh, Cahoon. There's David Robertson. Back it goes to Andy Dibble. Well, that's the only point to ponder, I reckon, on the negative side for the Aberdeen management team of Alex Smith and Jockey Scott. Just may have to think in terms of developing the understanding between Dibble and his defence, but that's the only point. An otherwise outstanding Aberdeen performance. They've killed the Hearts bogey of last season, that's for sure, after a performance set up by Toombed's goal just on half-time. Then came the fine finishing effort from Brian Grant after Hillhouse did the hard work for the second in 54 minutes, and Hillhouse himself capped a superb performance with a third goal in 73 minutes. So the final score at Pittodrie, Aberdeen 3, Hearts 0.